Adam, thank you very much. We are live right now with Michael Torguson, RCC Political Science Professor. Michael, good to see you. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Very exciting night. Glad to have you here. Thanks very much.
This is what we live for.
So, indeed it is, as Americans, of course. So, right now, according to NBC News, 75-66 in the Electoral College in favor of Hillary Clinton. Doesn't seem like we've seen any surprises yet.
No surprises.
Do you think we will see some tonight as far as those states go with the margin of error on the polls?
It all depends on what Iowa, it depends on Florida, it depends on Nevada is now in play. Arizona, it depends on that great big blue section of the Rust Belt. If that goes for Donald Trump, then that's going to be huge for him. If he doesn't get Florida, that's going to be huge for Hillary Clinton.
Okay, so how was history, big picture stuff here now, 10, 20 years down the line, how are people going to be looking at this race that we've all lived for the last year and a half?
Probably more in sorrow than in anger, really, because this race I've seen more vote against the other person rather than vote for my person. It's been very divisive, it's been very polarizing, and I can't remember there ever being a never Hillary or never Trump campaign.
It's been fascinating. So, leaving the national people
Leaving them alone.
Talk nationally. So, Oregon, obviously, there's a lot of races. What are you looking at most closely?
I'm watching the Richardson-Avakian race. That is going to be the Republicans' biggest chance to break through into state politics since Gordon Smith was in the Senate.
Yeah, 2002. It's been some time since a Republican has won the statewide race.
Now, 2 years ago in the governor's race, he lost 6 counties, and he lost by, I think, 4%. But he got great name recognition, and many of the newspapers, the Statesman Journal, the Tribune, the Oregonian, not conservative-leaning newspapers by any means, are all endorsing Richardson over Avakian.
Yeah, and so are we, in the polls, Richardson seems to be ahead by a couple points, but there were a lot of undecided voters in those polls, nothing like the national races where it seems like we've all made our decisions by this time.
Yeah.
I got to assume that those are going to break down more predominantly Democrat, because that's the way the state is going, certainly with the demographics, but could Richardson hold on, do you think? Is that something that could happen?
It's very possible. 30% are going to go for the Democrats, 30% are going to go for the Republicans, but the non-decided, the unaffiliated, and the minor party voters, that middle 40%, are no longer reliably counted on by state parties, by political parties. So the candidates, the measures, everybody has got to really focus their message not just on the base, but on this middle majority that are really going to make the difference.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Not much more with Michael in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. Again, we're here with RCC Political Science Professor Michael Torguson. Michael, does Governor Kate Brown have reason to be concerned tonight?
No, she really doesn't. Dr. Pierce ran a good campaign up until the time that he didn't run a good campaign. His comment about domestic violence in the debate really was the death knell for him.
The Portland City Club debate.
Yeah, he did not have strong name recognition outside of his home area. And Kate Brown's positives taking over from Governor Kitzhaber were higher than Governor Kitzhaber's negatives. So there wasn't a Gray Davis, Arnold Schwarzenegger situation where they say, not only do we not like the governor, we don't like the political party, and we're going to go the totally opposite way. Kate Brown has really gotten the wind at her back during this campaign and during the last 2 years. So I think that my crystal ball says that she's going to easily win the rest of this term and probably will run again in 2 years.
97, a lot of money spent on that one, blowing away the GMO measure we saw a couple of years ago. Is 97 going to pass?
That one, it's 6-5 and pick 'em. The coin is still in the air on that one. There's been so many people coming out for and against it, so many compelling arguments for and against it. And if you just look at who is supporting it versus who is opposing it, the tea leaves are just so muddled. There's no real way to predict which way it's going to go.
Now, if it fails, then the legislature, Governor Brown, or whoever is the governor, is going to have a tall task. A lot of money is going to perhaps need to be cut off the budget, or they're going to have to bring in a lot of new revenue. It's going to be a tall task. How are they going to begin to tackle that?
They're going to have to begin tackling it by either or both. They're going to have to raise taxes. They're going to have to cut spending. The state of Oregon has a balanced budget constitutional requirement, so they cannot deficit spend. There might be looking at the kicker. They might do what they do every budget cycle and hold education, public safety, and the elderly hostage by saying, you know, we're going to have to cut from schools. We're going to have to cut from police and fire and prisons so that we can fund all of the rest of the stuff that we have to.
A lot of stuff there to look at, of course.
Yes.
So what about the races down here in Southern Oregon, the state rep, state senate? Do you see any of those changing hands for the parties?
The biggest race that I'm looking at very locally is the seat for the late Senator Alan Bates. Alan DeBoer has run a clean campaign. He's got wonderful name recognition. He was elected in Ashland, not only to mayor, but city council or school district. Tanya Morrow has been in the district attorney's office for quite a while. The thing that really hurt her was the negative campaign. So that's going to be the race to look at. I don't think that Sal Esquivel has anything to worry about. I'm not sure about the other one to replace Peter Buckley.
Yeah, Martian Ritchie. Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be another one. But
okay. Well, unfortunately, we're out of time. But
no, we're not.
Just plenty of time to talk.
Run over
for
to the
rest
next
of the
break.
evening. Good to see you.
Thank you
Thanks
much.
very much.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.